Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crosstalk. My name is Jay.
And my name is Till.
And we are very happy to have you guys back again, especially for those who have been following us for the past few episodes. We really like to thank you for all your feedback, and we are looking always to improve on our crosstalks.
Absolutely. How many crosstalk is that now?
Wow, I think it's about six so far.
Oh wow, the sixth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the sixth, and we are always looking to build upon it. Okay, so thank you for helping us, and please continue to give us any feedback. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. And in every crosstalk, we want to understand a little bit more about the world. As our mission is, we want to connect people to understand the world. Mm-hmm. This is where we talk to different people all over the world to just give us some idea what their country and culture and places are like. But right now, COVID-19, the world is not in its normal state. But it also means there's still interesting things we can learn. So what are we trying to learn?
Well, we want to learn a bit about facts, okay, but also more importantly about the opinions of the people who are living in different places. And that's what we want to do for this series, to learn about not just the virus, but how do people live, how do people cope with it, to bring out any positive message from people all around the world, so we can fight the disease together.
Absolutely. And maybe you have seen in the other crosstalk, we talked to people from Italy and France and Malaysia. We really want different places that are very, very different in terms of the government, in terms of the policies, in terms of the people, in terms of the lockdown and restrictions. So today, we're very excited to have another place that is in the news a lot. What is that?
And that place, of course, is Taiwan. Very near to Hong Kong. I've been there so many different times.
No. Me too, I love it.
But, we are very happy to have two guests today from Taiwan to share about the whole situation, about their life right now in Taiwan. And hopefully we can also learn about a little bit about the culture of Taiwan from this crosstalk. Right, so without further ado, let's welcome them. So first of all, let me introduce to you the first person. That will be Jenny. Okay. Jenny, can you say hi?
Hello everyone. Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. So I'm from Kaohsiung City, Taiwan, which is a southern part of Taiwan, and I studied in the Chinese University of Hong Kong as a junior, majoring in business. And I enjoy traveling a lot, taking photos, and currently I'm working as a remote intern for ICE. Yeah, that's briefly about me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. All right, that's one of our Taiwanese ladies. And we have another one. She's called Reina. Reina, can you say hi?
Hi, everyone. My name is Reina, and I'm from Chiayi, which is pretty a countryside in Taiwan. And there's full of plant and not much skyscrapers. And I love traveling and studying for philosophy, which is my biggest interest, and also baking. I'm currently studying in the Chinese University of Hong Kong and also doing a remote intern as Jenny does.
So both of you...
all about me.
Okay. So both of you are actually from, can I put it as southern Taiwan? Is Jiayi part of southern Taiwan?
So, yeah.
Okay. So, and they are neighbors, right? From what I see on the map, they are kind of like neighbors.
Kind of like, yeah.
Kind of.
Okay, I got it. So, for our audience, maybe you have met a lot of people from the Taipei, the capital city, the northern part. So now it might be a good time to be able to talk to someone from the southern part of Taiwan. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment in the box below. All right?
Okay.
So without further ado, let's begin. Right, so COVID-19, Taiwan is in the news a lot. Okay, we read for the good, the bad.
But actually more the good than the bad, I have to say. A lot of countries like Italy and France, the news are not great.
Yeah, but in Taiwan, I know that things seems to be getting better, right? So maybe let me ask you right from the beginning. Let's start from in January and until now. Okay, can you share with us how did all this virus start in Taiwan. So we know it happened in mainland China, the Wuhan. How did it come into Taiwan, and were there any local transmission? Yeah, can you share with our audience?
So okay, I'll go first. So,
Okay, yeah, maybe Jenny can go first. Yeah.
Okay, so from the very beginning, in January and February, like Taiwanese who work in mainland China, they return back to Taiwan. So that's perhaps the first time we have to like control the situation. And then afterward is March and April. Because the situation in Europe or United States gets not really good, so that's why they have to, some students study overseas or people who work over there, they have to return to Taiwan. So that's why certain situation gets not really good in Taiwan. And yeah, maybe Reina can add something. Yeah.
So I think when it's at the end of the January, so I remember that the first case of COVID-19 in Taiwan is a businessman working in mainland China, and like it have like come up with a pretty fierce discussions about whether she should come back or like she just bring the virus back to Taiwan, and that's when the whole stuff starts in Taiwan. But hopefully our governments have do a great job on controlling the whole stuff. So even though people here are quite in the chaos about the virus, but still there's not much like bad things happen in Taiwan, I would say.
Yeah, and actually the first person who is like died due to this issue was a taxi driver, like from China, right? And yeah, and then he got infected by with COVID-19.
Okay, so it was the first death was a taxi driver who drove was it a passenger from China?
It's actually not taxi driver. How should we say that? It's like,
how do you say in Chinese?
I think
by
白牌车, like actually it is not like he's not driving a official
legit car. Yeah.
Legit taxi car, but like he just drive his own private car and like drove a businessman who came back from mainland China. And then he just got
it's like an Uber.
Yeah, like
But
an Uber.
that's kind of scary, especially if it's not a normal official taxi, right? If you hear that, it's like we don't know how many people this guy infected.
Yeah. So there's no way to trace all these things. Okay, so right now, is there any government measures to stop the spread of virus? I mean, you guys have been doing a good job.
Like lockdown, school closure, those kind of things, or
is there any of this thing, or how is the Taiwanese government what is it doing to stop this spread?
I think I will go first. So luckily we have no school shutdown except one which has like 2 or 3 students who have got the COVID-19. But the other schools, like elementary school, university in Taiwan, they didn't shut down in this whole situations. And like for our government, we have like daily press conference saying about like what the virus situations is in every day. And at first we have like locked down the exports of masks, and then like each person can get like, I think for adults they will have 9 masks per 2 weeks, and then for children there are 10 masks per 2 weeks. And then we just like announce and spread and promote the concept of wearing masks in the public areas. So I think that's what like government has done. And then like as for people who come back from like mainland China or European or American, so they should stay at their home for like 14 days. And there will be like, there is a strict measures. So like they have to contact the police every day, and they should make sure that themselves just stay in the home, or they will like be fined for a pretty large amounts of money.
Yeah, and also I think there's one way pretty effective, like our government will launch some TV advertisement to like tell us the answer we often encountered. Like, can we replace surgical mask with dust mask, and can we reuse surgical mask by washing them, and or how to protect ourselves like effectively. And maybe Jay, we can share the audience some video about the TV advertisement.
Okay. Yes, so I think earlier on Jenny has given us a YouTube video about how the government is promoting what Jenny said. So let's switch over to this video and let's have a look.
Sure.
大家好，我是长庚大学呼吸治疗学系万国华教授。首先要提醒有呼吸道症状、慢性病需要进出医疗院所的朋友，请务必佩戴医用口罩。防疫期间，健康民众在通风环境或开放空间，且和他人说话的距离可以保持1公尺以上时，其实可以不需要佩戴口罩。如果您觉得不放心，也可以考虑选用布口罩。经过食药署调查发现，有些市售的布口罩也具有阻挡飞沫的效果，可以提供民众作为选择。建议大家在挑选布口罩时，记住以下要诀：口罩至少要有3层结构，外层材质要致密，中间层是不织布材质，内层要柔软透气。最后提醒大家，请将医用口罩留给有需要的人。健康民众可以依照自己所在的环境状况，选择不需要佩戴口罩，或是佩戴上述挑选要诀的布口罩。
Wow. Okay, so it's in Chinese, right? So, but if my Chinese is good enough, especially for our international audience, it's more about how to choose a mask. Right?
Were you asking me to learn Chinese too?
I have faith in you. Maybe let's ask Jenny and Reina to sum up what the video is about.
It's about if we can use a magical mask, because before, like a few months ago, people have this question popping out, and we don't know like how to really protect ourselves and how to select the right mask. Yeah.
So how to use a mask properly, as well as I remember the last phrase, 请留给有需要的人. Right?
Yeah.
So only use it if
you're in need.
Yeah, leave it to some people who are
actually
in need.
As medical professionals, for example, or people who have symptoms.
So these are like government promotion to citizens on how to protect yourself, right?
I think one more thing to add. I think like the key like why the citizens in Taiwan will like be so conscious about like the virus is because like I think perhaps 16 years ago there's a SARS virus and which have harmed Taiwan's economies and the whole society pretty much. So people are scared by that what happened in the past. So at this time like they all recall like how serious the problems is in the past, so that we should do the measurement properly. So I think that's why the citizens have this kind of awareness, so which will make the government's measure more like feasible and efficient.
Yeah.
I think in many ways that's a bit like Hong Kong, even like Singapore. We were affected by SARS. I think you were too young when the SARS happened.
I remember, I'm old enough, I remember being in Germany and hearing what the news about SARS,
Yes.
not knowing what is Taiwan and Hong Kong, just hearing, oh, SARS. Yeah.
But let's pause here for a while. We have a few comments on YouTube about for you. So first of all, we have a lot of people who say hi, all right, and then hi to Peter, Christina, and Tio's mom, and we have Luo Yixing, friend, I guess, of
friend of
Reina.
Flower.
And there's Mu Ying Chang. He says 事情 hi. Okay, so feel free. Okay, 如果你們是說國語的話，也可以在那個我們的那個 YouTube 入邊留言啊。如果係廣東話嘅話，都可以喺用中文喺留言啦。Okay.
Oder auf Deutsch, auch kein Problem, falls jemand Deutsch spricht. If you're speaking German, you can even comment in German. I will translate.
Okay, so first quick question from the audience, which is from Peter. Ask Reina, do you have who is your favorite philosopher?
Wow, how is that?
Totally not Wow.
Is there an answer from Reina for that? I
You can choose not to answer.
I think no, but I have kind of like which aspect of philosophy like I love. I think it's about the consciousness sense. Like this is what I love. But I think I don't have a specific preference of like which philosopher I love. Yeah.
All right. You could have also just given a Chinese philosopher's name that Peter doesn't know, and then he would be quiet, I guess. But,
Well, good. Okay. So Christina has a question related to the whole COVID-19. So we'll see whether if Jenny or Reina wants to answer. It's about the lockdown restrictions and measures that are still in effect right now.
is there anything still in effect right now?
Is there any lockdown, quarantine? Maybe Jenny first?
Bars and pub. I think those places where people gathering and government will stress on social distancing. Yeah, I think that's the place. Yeah, currently locked down. Rina, do you come up with other places?
No, I think I think that's the only place, like only kind of place and locations that government have the lockdown policy, and other public like gathering sites, like there's no any such a policy.
Yeah.
So mostly.
And I think even if there's no places that really lock down, people are quite self-disciplined. Like we don't go there initiatively. So, yeah.
But that's something to think about. This whole responsibility, not going out, protecting others, protecting yourself.
I'm actually curious at this. Has there ever been a case, because in Germany, in the UK, in the US, there are many cases of some people just saying, whatever, we don't want to listen to the government, we'll still have a private party. Some even called it a coronavirus parties. And people are really trying to defy the government on purpose. Is that something that actually has ever happened in Taiwan? Or would you say from your experience, no, Taiwanese just stick to it, they are responsible?
Personally, I think just like what Reina mentioned, because due to the experience of SARS, people get more cautious for this COVID-19. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I wish in my country sometimes people were a bit more responsible like that.
Well, but, speaking of which, since we're on the topic of the current measures that are in place, maybe can maybe Reina share with us what is the current situation right now in Taiwan? We saw on the news there seems to be zero cases. Zero new cases. And what is the whole? You are there in Taiwan. Can you share with us a little bit more? What is the whole situation right now?
So I think the whole situations can be like based on geography locations. Like different parts of Taiwan have like different kind of like atmospheres and situations. For example, in Taipei, like people are still pretty in the cause, and they are still quite anxious about the virus. So like in the public, everyone are wearing masks, and like they will always like turn on your TV or newspaper and see like, oh, if the whole stuff will getting serious or what. And but like in my hometown, like Chiayi County, because it is kind of a countryside, so people have less awareness about like the whole stuff. So for example, yesterday I went to a restaurant just beside my house, and I think like there are like 10 customers in the restaurants, but like only one of them are wearing masks, and like no one is actually wearing a mask, and people are like quite usual, like just feel like everything's are normal just like the past. But like I think people are still pretty aware of the whole stuff. So like if you are taking a public transportations and anywhere in Taiwan, you should wear a mask, or you cannot like step onto like the bus or car.
Wow, that sounds like one of the most back to normal places that we have talked to, at least in the crosstalk series so far. I don't think any other places feels so normal, right? Cool.
So there is a kind of a divide between the cities and the countryside attitude to the whole protection and how they're dealing with the whole COVID-19 situation, right?
I would say like even if it's in Taipei, you can just imagine like everything are like normal or daily life, except that people are wearing masks. I think that's just like kind of the main difference. in the host. Yeah.
How about Jenny? You are in Kaohsiung. Is there anything different?
I think besides the geographical location, the difference, also each family has different aspect toward this issue. Like, for example, Reina, I could say that she is more outgoing, and even during the outbreak of COVID-19, she can travel around Taiwan. But for me, like I'm my parents will like ask me to stay at home, like doing this self-quarantine stuff. Yeah, so in Kaohsiung, I think some people may like me, like stay at home, and some people just wear a mask and live on their ordinary life.
So it's also very personal choice. There's no much like government saying that you need to stay at home. Otherwise, we'll fine you.
I guess if the parents are strict enough, then the government doesn't have to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Since that's on the topic then, between the old and the young. So Christina on the live chat comment wanted to ask: is there how do the older and younger generation react to the COVID-19 in similar ways, or would you say
different? For example, in Italy, we heard that the older people actually want to go out, and the younger people are the ones who say no, stay at home. Whereas in other places, maybe the older ones, because they remember SARS, they're like, no, you stay at home. So what is it like in Taiwan? Is it like everyone equally responsible?
I think the latter one should be like, I don't see much difference between the reaction of the elderly and the young adults or children.
Nice.
It's a point, like, yeah. So, Reina, do you recognize any difference between the age?
I think like in my case, like young people are like less anxious about the whole situations. So like, they will still go out like even with mask and like just like me, like I will still wear a mask and go to restaurants or cafe or visiting my friends or stuff. But like my grandma, who is lived in Taipei, and she just like stay at home for like the whole months, and she didn't go out much often because she was scared of like being infected by the virus.
I see. So, so this you say okay. I do get it. I have one question. You know, because it's very famous in Taiwan, the media, right? We have a lot of press freedom, and when I was back in Singapore, I often watch a lot of these shows that claims to be like news, but maybe they're not really like news. So maybe I can get Reina first to share about this. How is the Taiwan media portraying this situation? Yeah.
I think like Taiwanese medias are like deified like some some government officers, like our head of Ministry of Health and Welfare, Chen Shizhong, if you have heard on the internet or medias. So like the medias, Taiwanese medias are keep saying that, oh, our head of Ministries of Health and Welfare are doing a great job, and sometimes they'll have some news that which is not quite related to the topic. For example, like they will say that, oh, today what's his wearing, and like, oh, in the press conference, and he looks pretty tired, and oh, what happened to him, and like, I can share a pretty funny news about like these officers in our government.
Okay, so yeah, Reina will share with us a piece of news that she found about this. Is the health minister, right? Health.
Yeah. So can you see this?
Yeah.
I think it's have shown the screen. So like it is a coffee shop, and they just have a action figure of him on a coffee cup, and which becomes.
Sorry, can you full screen? Click presentation and go full screen, so it's easier for us to see on the screen.
Sure. So
just click present. Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's a coffee shop which is selling a coffee which have an action figure of like Chen Shizhong on the top, and which becomes a news, and people are saying like, oh, this is really really fun, and we want to like appreciate what he have done, and like when the whole stuff was happening. Yeah.
Wow. So they basically made this minister into a celebrity, and then they come up with
kind of
all sorts of souvenirs.
Stickers, figurines, stuff.
Oh, to praise this minister.
Taiwanese creativity.
Wow.
Maybe I also want to quickly add something for those like non-Chinese. Let's say Christina or Peter. What Jay mentioned with Taiwanese media famous. For those of you who want to know a little bit more what that is, just go to YouTube when you have time, not now, and just type in Taiwanese news or Taiwanese TV show. Even if you don't speak Chinese, even if you don't understand, the bombardment of colors and writings, everything, and sound effects to your brain will be quite crazy, and you understand a little bit part of why they're famous. And combine that with crazy emotions and freedom of press and political activism, and you get a bit of a flavor.
Yes. Wow. So do Taiwanese consider this minister as would you say he's a hero? Or are there any other heroes from this situation that you have encountered or seen?
Personally, I think he is responsible, but yeah, I think he is responsible as a head of the Ministry of Health. Yeah, I'm quite indifferent about what term we use to describe him. To me, I just think that, yeah, he is responsible and kind of tired, I think.
To deal with the whole situation must be really
But
hard.
I think that's also kind of unique. Like in many countries, you see healthcare workers, doctors being celebrated as the heroes, and of course there should be. But in many countries, I cannot imagine that anyone would celebrate a minister as a hero. Usually they blame the ministers and they celebrate the doctors. So it's kind of interesting.
Yes, I learned a lot about Chen Shizhong. I'm gonna see if I can buy a souvenir and put it in the office. Yeah, but speaking about media, right, for people like us, foreigners like us, where would you recommend us to get the best or most trusted news for Taiwan as a foreigner? You know, you have Apple Daily, you have a lot of Taiwan news, so many different kinds of channels. So can you recommend to us like one or two more trusted news source? Maybe Reina?
I would say it's quite hard to say like for now, because I can think of some like they're like independent medias which is on the internet, but actually I cannot remember that what is their names. But as for my family, we usually watch Apple Daily just for the reason that it's quite entertaining, and like I can share with you like what the headlines of it. So like every day they have like kind of like pretty colorful pictures and which portrays about like what is the biggest news in our country. So it's quite entertaining. So like imagine that you just got up like for a boring day and then you just watch Apple Daily for like quite interesting news, and you will feel like, wow, you just start your day in an interesting way.
Can you show us again
One more time to show it to the camera?
Paper?
Sure.
The headline.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
So that is on the big headline, right? The caricature of that's the WHO Secretary General, basically. Right?
Yeah. For those, I think it's a bit. Do you want to go into that now? Because it's a long story with the whole WHO.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you are interested, you can go online and research or ask a question down there. So we know what you would like to know.
But of course, only whatever you want to answer.
And so for Reina, your family will be looking more like Apple Daily. How about Jenny? How about for you or your family?
So my family, we actually watched the TV show, and that's like during afternoon or at noon, there will be a TV news from Central Epidemic Command Center. Like they will inform us the latest situation in Taiwan, but I'm not so sure if they have English version for non-Chinese speaker. Yeah, but I think that's because that is more official as it's issued by the government. So I think that would be a reliable source, that it's in Chinese.
So every day at a certain time, there will be news from the central boards.
Yeah, like Chen Shizong, yeah, he will report us also with other colleagues.
Okay, so a news briefing every day from the government, and then that's what your family will be looking at to get the latest news.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, so that's the next question that I have. Let's go in hard. Something that a lot of foreigners want to ask. It's a bit sensitive.
Oh, the elephant in the room.
Yes, let's just get it done. Okay, so as we know, in especially in Hong Kong, I'm sure now in Thailand as well, people are very closely watching this whole WHO Taiwan kind of a conflict. Put it that way, it's a bit of a verbal conflict, but all these, I realize that we're looking from it from the outside. As a foreigner, we are saying, whether WHO or Taiwan, who is right, who is wrong, etc. But you two as Taiwanese, could you share with us about your personal opinion to this whole,
if you want to share, or
saga?
even just like how you perceive the whole thing happening?
Yeah. Anyone would like to start first? It's a difficult topic.
Maybe Jenny first.
Okay. So for me, like my mom is super irritated by this. Like she will like say some bad words when she watch those news about the WHO issue. But for me, I think although Taiwanese are quite isolated from other nations, especially this organization, I think we are quite collaborative, and both between the government, hospitals, as well as citizens. So I think I also see the positive strength among all the residents. Like we are work together. So I didn't really care about how like it's okay for me, not okay for me. Oh my, I should stop here. Maybe Reina should go on.
I think I will say that, like in Taiwanese society, people have different ideologies. So quite a time there will be lots of conflicts coming up when talking about like this kind of issue. But I think on this incidents, I think I saw like how Taiwanese can be like a unity, and we can collaborate even though we have different ideologies, and we can see that like the most common things we have is that we all love our hometown, and like that's what matters, I would say.
Yeah. And I think we can also witness some optimism in Taiwan. Maybe we can share a photo of like previously there were like no people were diagnosed with COVID-19, so some hotels celebrated by lighting up their hotel rooms with a 0. Maybe I can share the screen.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do that.
So Jenny will share with us a photo of of what she means by the whole lighting up of the rooms.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Wow.
both of these are hotels, and they celebrate in a very entertaining and actually quite heartwarming way, I think. The right one is from Kaohsiung.
Wow.
Is that the
Yeah.
tallest building in Kaohsiung?
Yeah, and the left one is, I think, located in Taipei.
Yeah, in Taipei. It's really interesting.
Okay, so you have all these hotels who celebrate it by lighting up, giving a lot of optimism to the people.
But,
Yeah.
but as a foreigner, it could also be seen like, haha, zero, almost a little mocking, like, hey, look at us, we have zero, you have case.
Well,
I know that's not the intention.
it's the support, yeah. But just to do a bit of a summary of that. So because this whole WHO saga, according to Taiwanese, might actually unite them more because of how it's being perceived outside. So you feel that Taiwanese become more united.
Yeah, and just in case there's anyone watching this who doesn't know what we're talking about, just Google WHO Taiwan, and then you will find it.
You will see. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to a more positive news then. Just happened yesterday, the day before. The pink mask. What's going on with that thing? Right, because yeah, we heard about this. People coming out with the pink mask, but how did it start, and what's going on now?
So maybe I can explain it with a slides.
Okay, so Reina will share with us. So in the meantime, for our audience, if you would like to, please feel free to comment, share with us any questions that you would like our two Taiwanese guests to answer.
And maybe you can just share the entire slideshow and walk us through the slides. Maybe that's a bit easier.
I think I've shared it if you can see.
Okay.
And so first it starts because of a report that a boy in elementary school was left by his classmates because he wore a pink mask to the school. And then it's just reported by other medias. And then Chen Shizhong, who heard of this news, in the next press conference, he wears a pink mask that just like was shown in these pictures with other officers, and he said that pink shouldn't be stereotyped, and any people or anyone can have pink. Pink is not only belongs to girl or boy cannot have this colors. So on the internet and many fan page and celebrities start like so-called pink campaign. So they just change all like there's marks or the photos into pink stuff and saying like, hey, they support this kind of campaigns to fight for the stereotype for this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So from gender discrimination, Chen Shizhong again came out with the whole pink mask, everyone wearing pink mask to support the fact that you don't need to be a certain gender to wear certain colors.
Yeah, but they're also kind of like a too much description, like saying like pink color is a 时钟 color, like you just put his name before this color, and like 时钟 color is pink color. So hey, I like 时钟 color. So, like, they just praise him like I think like a hero or something else. Yeah.
Wow, so it really like what you say in Chinese, 造神, like really you become a god. So Chen Shizhong is like a celebrity god now.
This is so funny.
And even has his own colors.
And so starting with like, gender and being progressive socially, and then it's all about glorifying a politician.
I have a feeling for the next 10 minutes until we end I will hear this word Chen Shizhong for a few more times.
Maybe we'll become a future president.
Well, who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. So speaking about this, then do you have any funny stories that you have heard of or you experienced during this whole situation that you can share with our audience, just for laughs? Either you heard it or you experienced it yourself.
Reina, do you have one?
Me? I think the funny stuff I've heard of is like, because in my county there's like only like 1 or 2 cases that got diagnosed, and like people have said that our county is too poor, so like there's no one going out for traveling abroad or like studying overseas, so that's why we have the least cases like compared to other like cities or so.
Because of the second wave. The second wave was mostly from people from overseas.
Yeah.
And then you're saying like people are laughing, saying that Jiayi is too poor.
Yeah,
to
Jai
have
is
people
too poor.
for people to send to be overseas. That's why you're the safest right now.
Oh.
Wow. That's pretty. How accurate do you think this is?
I think it's true to some extent, I would say. There are not much people like I know in my town or like have studying abroad or like traveling outside. Because like most people in our country is just like planting like or like selling vegetables or something else. So like yeah.
The
I think on
agriculture.
average we are not that rich. Yeah, I would
Oh.
Serena studies abroad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Jenny, will you agree with Reina that Jiayi is
I have been to Reina's house once, and I think it's like a mansion. It's really big.
No.
It's not poor. I think Jiayi is just rural area in Taiwan, and maybe there's not much economic activity like business sectors or financial stuff. But yeah,
But then you go to a house and you're like, oh, nice. I know
it's
that
super
feeling.
big. It's
I
super
have a
big.
friend in central Taiwan near Taichung, and when I was at her house one time, it was also like, wow, with all the like
right.
orchards outside and like fields and a big, like almost villa.
Yeah, so well, each have
Yeah.
each to each his own different city and countryside, and we have a Tio's mom. Can you translate?
Oh, interesting. So my mom is giving a comment saying she would, it's about the masks instead of pink masks. Why not rainbow masks? She was about rainbow masks. I guess also alluding to Taiwan's progressive LGBT culture, I assume. Has anyone come up with rainbow masks before?
Have you seen rainbow masks before?
No.
I haven't,
so
but it's a
maybe
good
my mom had a
idea,
good
right?
idea,
Yeah, good idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. After this, I'm gonna go and research how to make rainbow masks. Yeah, black mask, green, blue mask, pink mask, but no rainbow mask. Yes. So very good question. Dankeschön. Okay. So to wrap this up, okay, we're trying to keep our time limit, as one of our friends also suggested we should keep your time limit. So to wrap this entire thing up for both Reina and Jenny, what do you think is the biggest learning that you got out of this whole COVID-19 situation? Because I know, for example, Reina has been able to go out a bit more. Jenny, because of the family, you're kind of stuck at home for the past few months, right? And 宅女, yeah.
Yeah, that's the right term.
That's the right term.
Mean lah.
Well, yeah, okay, it's not a mean thing. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, in this case it's true.
Yeah. So for the two of you, what would be your biggest learning that you got out of this whole situation?
Okay, maybe I can go first. So for me, because my brother studies abroad in United States right now, and he hasn't come back yet. So for me, I will reflect on the question when a disease is racialized, especially people, foreign people, they may associate Asian and Chinese speakers with a medium of carrying disease, COVID-19. But I think it's not right, and especially it's how the media report the COVID-19 issue. It should not become a stereotype of causing that xenophobia or racial discrimination. So I think it really matters for us to doing those kind of attaching those labels to certain groups of people. I think that's what I've learned.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Not many people expected so much xenophobia and racism to come out together with COVID-19. First about anyone Chinese or even East Asian looking, right, in the West. Now it's about Africans in China, and it's like, in both cases it doesn't make sense because the people who are now infected the most and spread it most are people who look like me, right? Like white, Western looking people. Like the most cases right now in US and Italy and England and France. So you can clearly see that it's getting adopted by xenophobes and racists. And that's something maybe no one in the world knew how strong this feeling still is in many people.
Yeah. And also my brother, he doesn't dare to wear a mask when he goes out, because people may just discriminate him.
It's terrible, yeah.
I think it's very true. For example, the virus knows no nationalities or race or colors, right? You can transmit to anyone. So definitely, what Jenny said is very, very true. Reina, what about you?
I think I always said that the most important things I learned from this whole, the whole story is that you can never predict or know or make sure that what will happen in the future. So there's always things happen or changes happen accidentally that which will break down or destroy your whole plan. So we should learn like how to adapt to different changes and how to make things back to normal, even though you know that everything have changed. And maybe sometimes things will be blessing in disguise. So like at first I thought that like learning home online courses is kind of like, it felt really bad because like you cannot interact with your classmates or your teachers, and you cannot actually have a normal university life. But I think that in those days that I staying at home, I have much time to reflect on myself or do things that I like, and I think it's still become a time for me to have a personal growth.
So adapt to change. That's something that we should all learn, and the biggest learning from you as well, right? And I do agree. This timing, everything has changed. Everything that you have planned for has totally gone upside down. So how do you adapt to the change is something that's very important, right? Yeah. Now before we end this, actually both Reina and Jenny prepared some photos and the pictures to show regarding some of the points that you just talked about. So maybe would Jenny or Reina, would you like to just show our audience some of the things? Oh, okay. We have it on the YouTube now. What is that? Chen Shizhong. You see on the screen. Okay, Reina, are you able to see the screen?
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so it's on
Neither.
YouTube. Okay, so it's a picture of this thing that says 很简单呢484. So
We pronounce 484 as 是不是, which means is it or not.
the Chinese are 是不是?
Yeah.
God, that's so
Right.
Taiwanese.
I need to do it with a Taiwanese accent. So someone made this up, and this is Chen Shizhong, right? I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's another souvenir that you can get. If you are a fan of the health minister, Chen Shizhong, you can get this souvenir. Okay, so right, so let's
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here.
wrap it up. Yeah. Final questions from you? Anything?
I will always ask my same question
Yeah.
in the end. Is there anything, even nothing to do with coronavirus, just anything you want people to know about Taiwan that maybe feel things are misunderstood? It could be as simple as Taiwan is not Thailand, or like anything you want people to know about Taiwan.
Jenny?
We are united. We are super united, even we are not really recognized globally.
United. Very nice.
United would be the keyword. Yeah. And
And
Reina?
sometimes united, I think. I mean, although sometimes we are not united, but although we are not, during this period of time, we are united.
So when there is a global conflict or something external pressure, suddenly then you say Taiwan becomes a very united place.
Yeah.
That is nice to hear in a world full of divisions. Yeah.
Yep. And Reina, do you have anything you want our audience to know about Taiwan or to clear any misconception?
I think I would say Taiwan is really an amazing island. Like we have beaches and we have places you can play in the oceans, and there's places that you can ride your bicycle in the plane, and there's also places that you can like go on hiking in the mountains. So it's definitely a really good place for traveling and for living.
I agree 100%. Absolutely. It's amazing. I've been there so many times and I still haven't had enough. So if you have never been there, never been to Taiwan, please, once the COVID-19 crisis is done, travel there, enjoy the mountains. As a German, we are proud that our tallest mountain in Germany is 3,000 meters tall. We have only one mountain called Zugspitze, 3,000 meters. Taiwan has more than 100 mountains over 3,000 meters. So,
true.
Maybe that's why they call Taiwan the 宝岛. Treasure Island, full of these surprises. So with that, we have to say thank you. We have Christina. Christina actually said to learn a lot about Taiwan, and or rather, she realized how much there is still left to learn. So she would like to thank you and Jenny, you and Reina and Jenny, for the wonderful sharing. And us, we would like to thank you as well. Right, so please stay safe in Taiwan, and we hope to see you back here in Hong Kong soon. And for our audience, once again, please, if you have not done so, like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe to us, and let us know how we can improve. And we're getting ready for our next season with different topics.
Absolutely. So Crosstalk Season 1 is almost finished. We're going to talk next week. We're going to do 2 more, Monday and Thursday. We're going to talk about Thailand, what it's like to be in Thailand, which is also kind of interesting, and Russia. So that's going to be nice. Christina, in fact, is going to give a lot of comments. She may contribute.
All right.
So yeah, and if you haven't watched the previous episodes of Crosstalk, please also check this out. Really interesting places like Spain and France and Italy and Malaysia. So please join us.
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, we say thank you. And thank you again to Jenny and Reina for the wonderful sharing about Taiwan. And see you again on next Monday.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.